Hello everyone! Since the update on the Moment in Crime website, more information about the current plot has been dug up. Since this is updating much more frequently, it's possible that more information might be available very soon after this video is already rendered and uploaded, but I'll sum up what we know now. On October 18th, the long-awaited update for the Moment in Crime website had finally come, giving us a message that Sombra had now established a connection with Bastion Unit E54, aka our Bastion. At the time, this sparked outrage because the 3-month wait had seemed to lead to essentially nothing. The next day, however, new things were discovered as a part of the ARG. The game updated to match the same version number listed in the source code of the Moment in Crime website, and players discovered that if you played Bastion on Dorado and brought him near one of the screens that had Sombra's protocol flashing on it, Bastion would emit a series of beeps. These beeps turned out to be Morse code, which in turn led us to the official LumériCo website. At the bottom corner of the website is a phone number, and if you call it, you'll hear a woman speaking in Spanish. Her dialogue is cut off, and she begins to say a string of numbers. These numbers were then used to help us get another clue left behind by Sombra. The message left behind, once decoded and translated, reads the following. I'm congratulating you for getting in here. I only wanted to know if you are ready or not. Hey. It's really difficult to get good help lately. You should see some of the clowns I'm working with. For now, let's continue with the real challenge. Taking down LumériCo core President Guillermo Portero. Why? Because he's a greedy and corrupt man and an abominable thief. His plan of bringing in line the most powerful and biggest ziggurat on November 1st is nothing more than a deceit, an elaborate plan by his gang to become even more influential to the people of Mexico and get more money. And who's gonna pay for that? Common people, the ones that are always forgotten. I've started upgrading my protocols so that they are used to take down the LumériCo infrastructure, and Los Muertos are trying to go against the corruption. Meanwhile, search the LumériCo website for info we can use against the bastard, or better, get his username and password so that hundreds of not-so-favorable facts about the president start popping up. I was able to get the username and pass of the LumériCo employee. Start here. She then gives us a username and password to one of the employees that can be logged into on the website. Upon making this video, there are currently 3 available users for us to log into. Gonzalo Flores, President Guillermo Portero, and Security Chief Maria Jimenez. You can read through their emails, though most of them don't have any immediate significance to the ARG. Some of those entail details of a broken espresso machine that has upset a good portion of the employees there, Maria's missing office chair, and Gonzalo's new keyboard. An email popped up on President Guillermo within 30 minutes of his account being accessed by us, a message from Sombra that reads the following. I see you have been able to infiltrate into his mail. Don't worry, he cannot see this email. I've hidden it from his site if he connects from one of his known IP addresses. I need a little bit of time to establish the next set of protocols. Stay alert early next week. I'll throw some dirty laundry in his emails that can accidentally leak to the public. We'll see how the media will react to that. On October 25th, new emails appeared on both Gonzalo's accounts and Guillermo's. While Gonzalo's emails don't hold much significance, there are a couple ones in the president's account that caught my eye. One of them was sent by Manuel Oliveira. It says that a bank transfer was made for the case Juarez. These funds were sent to the Bank of Dorado through Monaco and will be available tomorrow, meaning October 26. Another email is in English, this one by Sanjay Korpal. Sanjay is a co-worker to Symmetra and the CEO to Vishkar Corporation. The email titled Business Proposal states the following. Mr. Portero, I have conveyed the contents of our latest discussion with the executive directors and they are all in agreement in principle of the framework for a deal. Of course, there will be a lot of discussion and communication in the coming days, but I am optimistic that we can reach a mutually beneficial understanding. I understand your concerns over the recent press of a Rio de Janeiro development, however, I can assure you that this is just a blip on the radar and that we are taking care of it. And of course, we are more than happy to keep our negotiations private until such time that you feel comfortable in discussing them with the public. And of course, we are more than happy to assist with smoothing over any conflicts that might come up in opposition to our proposals. Sincerely, Sanjay. With this, we now know that Guillermo has branched out to Vishkar for a business opportunity, which is bad news for the people of Mexico. Vishkar is known for imposing controls on its residents in the name of building a more orderly society by enforcing curfews, cracking down on what the company perceived as lawless behavior, and exploiting the population as cheap labor force. It's this kind of abuse that drove Lucio to lead a revolt against them. Sanjay's history isn't clear either. In Symmetra's comic, A Better World, Sanjay destroyed Calado Tower to force the mayor of Rio to accept Vishkar's offer to build a city center. In the destruction of the tower, several residents were injured in the favela nearby. The recent press Sanjay describes in his email could be alluding to this explosion or to Lucio's revolt, most likely the latter. Vishkar has been trying to cover up its trails, and Lucio has been doing what he can to expose them. With the potential of LumériCo and Vishkar working together, things will only get worse for the people of Mexico. On November 1st, LumériCo is to activate the nuclear plant in Dorado. They'll be hosting a celebration in the central square to commemorate the occasion. Once this plant is active, all residents of Dorado and surrounding areas will be automatically transferred to the new system and rates. It's this occasion that has Sombra trailing after LumériCo. With this plant, the common people of Mexico will be charged, and Guillermo will hold the leverage over the people by controlling their power source and internet. Sombra hacked the website, adding a new message to the news that the employees have a hard time removing from the site. It's titled "Long Live the King" and reads the following. King Guillermo Portero of LumériCo cordially invites you, your loyal subjects, to attend his coronation and celebrate his unlimited greed and betrayal of the people of Mexico. We have coordinated the publication of information to show that Portero is a snake and has for a long time plundered the riches of our country for his own good. He has corrupted our government, forced our sisters and brothers to become beggars, and will not stop until he has the whole country under his rule. But we, Los Muertos, will not support the celebration of his reign of corruption. We will show our new conquerors who holds the future for our country. On November, the king snake will fall apart and we will celebrate the recovery of our home. That still makes me really giddy to read, oh man. In addition, a portion of the website listed as Omnix text was updated with the following. The first line, forgive me if I mispronounce this, Tzolk'in is the name of a Mayan calendar, and the second line is a series of animals from it in the Tzolk'in dialect. These were then changed to numbers, which then turned to pictograms of Mayan numerals, and it was eventually changed to Morse code. It's then decoded to say, execute attack. This leads us to another message left by Sombra. The moment has come. These emails expose the truth about Portero, initiated the revolt, and have convinced the people of Mexico to support our cause. Now is the time to strike. Convert his precious inauguration on November 1st to a large movement against it. I need you to do one thing. Get access to the email security chief and seek some form of help in the attack. You may see her contacting Portero soon. I've changed her password. And she gives you the password here. It was here that we gained access to the security chief's account, which gives us access to an admin page that monitors the energy levels of the plant. Below is a command prompt, but all attempts to use it are so far met with a message that says the terminal is disconnected. One thing I want to bring up real quick is the leak that came out a while ago. At the bottom of the supposed leak, image of Sombra gives some of her backstory, stating that she used to work with the Los Muertos gang after the Omnic crisis before she had to go underground. I strongly believe that this leak is legit, since the source went back to an internal Blizzard website supposedly, and the above text turned out to be true once the Junkenstein event went live. Clearly, she is still tied to the Los Muertos gang, since she brings them up as a key member of the revolt that is soon to take place. The revolt is to take place on November 1st, the day the Halloween event ends, and of course, the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos. It's also worthy to note that the image of her skull attached to Guillermo's email to us is titled Calavera, which is a term most often applied to the decorative or edible skulls used in Day of the Dead. I'm sensing some symbolism here. Now, to put this together, I think I know where we are in the timeline. In the Hero Cinematic, these cigarettes have not even been built yet, or at least they don't hold any major significance at the time. The camera doesn't pan to it at all, despite the structure being a major part of the Dorado map. In-game, the payload you escort is the power supply for the plant that needs to be delivered to power the city. On your way over there, the bank, which by the way sports a massive statue of President Guillermo himself, has been broken into, security footage showing that it had been from the works of Junkrat and Roadhog. Looking back at an old video from A Moment in Crime, it shows footage of Junkrat blowing up a safe, one that looks a lot like the one in Dorado. He's known for committing various crimes across the globe, and we know for a fact that Dorado fell victim to him. I believe that when we're skirting this payload, we are helping to power that infrastructure for the first time, which means we are playing that map on November 1st in universe-wise. On the map, you can even see confetti and ribbons and the remnants of a party here in the central square, which I believe is the aftermath of the celebration Guillermo wants to hold. And if you remember earlier, one of the emails sent to Guillermo was related to a transfer of funds from Monaco to the Bank of Dorado, one that has now been robbed by Junkrat and Roadhog. These events have to have happened within a very close time span, and I believe that these are not separate events, but rather have some ties to this plot arc. It's possible that Junkrat may have been sent to break into the bank and retrieve those funds from Guillermo, and it might have even been by Sombra's command, though that's a bit of a stretch I'm making here, but there's just no way this is a coincidence. The Junkers are tied to this somehow, I just know it. Whatever's going to happen on November 1st is going to be big. Sombra intends to start a revolution of some sort, and it seems she's already held a sway over public opinion. And looking back at the hero cinematic, we know that Los Muertos most certainly has the means to turn any situation chaotic in a heartbeat, and with such power like that wrapped around Sombra's pinky, we can expect some major damage. It's possible it could go wrong though. Sometimes when Reap responds in Dorado, he says, "Where's Sombra when you need her?" Perhaps the mess got too big and she wasn't around to solve it? Or maybe that voice line is just outdated now and was only meant to tease the character. I'm not quite sure yet, but there are many possibilities. Personally, I hope we get some sort of animated short on November 1st or some video or something, but it's likely that major content like that will be revealed at BlizzCon. I'm also convinced that Sombra will be officially revealed then, since everything about the ARG lines up nicely in time for the convention. Once again, I will be attending BlizzCon virtually for the first time this year, and I will be sure to report on any information we get from the Overwatch panels once it hits. Let me know what you think about the new information. I can't help but sit here in excitement over the whole thing. I can't wait to see what's in store. Thanks for watching!